to start social casework. Can I have the slide, please? Mary Richmond defines social casework as the art of doing different things for and with different people by cooperating with them to achieve at one and at the same time their own and the society's betterment. Now with this, we will continue to go further to the basic assumptions of social casework. According to Hamilton, another social work professional, the chief assumptions of social casework are individuals and society are interdependent and complementary to each other. Various factors operative in the society influence human behavior and attitude. Some problems are psychological and some are interpersonal in nature. In the process of social casework, conscious and controlled relations are established for achieving its aim. Social casework enables an individual to solve his or her problem by channelizing his or her energy and capacity positively. Social casework provides everyone equal right to progress. It also provides help to every needy and disabled person. Now that we have started with the Hamilton chief assumptions of social work, we will further continue to understand what do we mean by the philosophical assumptions in social casework. Now let us look at the slide again. According to Grace Matthew, another social casework expert, there are certain assumptions which constitute the fundamental structure of social casework. That is, every human being has to be considered as a person with dignity and worth. Human beings are interdependent and govern their interaction in social groups. Every individual is like all other human beings in some aspects and like no other individual in certain aspects. People has the capacity to change. Society has no obligation to those who do not have the means for the realization of their potentials. Now that we have got to know the theories of social casework, we shall understand how the social casework started in India, or how was it developed in India. Indian culture and religion advocate the need to help the poor and the needy. So we can say that in the tradition of India itself, the social casework practice have always been deep-rooted since ancient times. The Hindu Shastras emphasize on giving, which may be in the form of wealth, knowledge and wisdom. In Buddhism, help should be given to relatives and friends. In Islam, alms was given by the fortunate to the state and used for the welfare of the needy. Christian missionaries started the activities which aimed at helping the poor. So, in India, a tradition of knowledgeable individuals providing advice and support to others. That is, for example, we can quote the example of Krishna here, who was given advice and support to Arjun at the beginning of the Mahabharata war. The first professional social worker who did casework in Indian setting were trained in the American School of Social Work. By this we can say that the concept of social casework in India was developed from the European style, that is the American case of social work to be precise, and from time immemorial India have taken its traditions and its culture deep rooted in the process of social casework from the American culture. Casework as a theoretical course and a method of practice in the academic program started from the year 1946. In 1936, Sir Dorabji Tata Graduate School of Social Work, now which is commonly known as the Tata Institute of Social Science, was started to impart training to those with a university degree in social service. Thus, the training for the social work was changed into a full-time, career-oriented educational program. Now that we have got to know the basic assumptions and the philosophical assumptions and how the concept of social casework started in India, it is now time to understand the principles involved in social casework. Now, if we have to talk about the principles involved in social casework, it is important to know that why these principles are important. Well, the principles of social casework are applied in establishing close relationship between social caseworker and the client. Relationship is the medium through which changes are brought in the behavior and the personality of the client. This means that social casework lay a greater emphasis on the relationship between the client and the worker. The term relationship in social casework was first used by Miss Virginia Robinson in her book A Changing Psychology in Social Casework in the year 1939. We have listed out various principles of social casework, which is you can see as in the slide. That is the principle of individualization, principle of meaningful relationship, principle of acceptance, principle of communication, principle of expression of feeling, principle of controlled emotional involvement, principle of non-judgmental attitude, principle of client self-determination, principle of worker self-awareness, principle of social functioning, principle of tuning behavior, principle of social learning, and principle of confidentiality. Now, we shall talk about these principles in further detail, and for that I would request my colleague Mr. Gurpada Sarin, who had come with me to explain you the principle of social casework. Now over to Gurpada.
Yeah, thank you, Rose. I will be elaborating the various principles of social casework which can be used for the practice in day-to-day activities in various agencies by the professional social workers. First of all, principle of individualization. In this principle, the professional social worker, he will use this principle in terms of better service of the client. As you know, the social casework is a process where client and social worker, they have a very good relationship in terms of helping for the betterment of the client. In the principle of individualization, that each and every individual is unique. So we cannot draw a line, or we cannot compare with the problem what A is facing. It cannot be to the B or C. So every individual is unique, and based on their psychosocial analysis, their problem has to be different. Their problem is different, and the solution, or what is the alternative solution, is different for each and every client. Then we'll go to the principle of meaningful relationship. Here, relationship means client and the professional social worker. They have the meaningful relationship. The social case worker, always he or she will try to maintain a certain relationship, which is a helping relationship in terms of to adjust the client in the broader society for his betterment and with better adjustment in the society, so that he can live with dignity. He can live with dignity in the society. Then principle of acceptance. The social caseworker will accept the client as it is. Maybe the client is a juvenile, maybe criminal or offender. The social caseworker will accept warmly to know his problem, to understand his problem which he is going through, and he would like to come out with this particular problem. So the social caseworker will accept client as it is, and whatever his feelings, emotions, and his participation in various activities, he will accept. Then principle of communication. Communication means it is a two-way process. Here mainly one is caseworker and the other is client. They have a very good communication process. The caseworker and the client, through this communication, social caseworker will try to help the client in terms of adjustment in the society. For particular problem he is facing, or whatever he would like to do in terms of adjustment in the society. Then principle of expression of feelings. Each and every client, they have the feelings, and that's why he is facing some certain problem. Here the client is encouraged to share his experience, through which the social caseworker will diagnose and try to provide some alternative solution through which he can come out with that particular problem which he is already facing. Then principle of controlled emotional involvement. Whenever the client is going through a lot of problems in terms of adjustment, or wherever he is facing the problem. So sometimes the social case worker, he or she also get involved in this particular situation or the same problem. But here the social case worker has to be alert that emotionally he should not be involved with that problem. Professionally, he will try to he will try to help the client if possible, and if not, then he will try to refer for further authority or further authority. Then principle non-judgmental attitude. Social worker, he will listen the experience of the client through which he is going to face a lot of problems in terms of adjustment and other social problems. But the social case workers, he will not judge, or he is no one to judge his problem. So the social case worker has to be alert that he should not judge his emotion or draw a line through which he or she, the particular client, can feel offended. Then principle of client self-determination. The social case worker, he will guide, he will give them some alternative to come out with a certain problem, to come out from the particular said problem, and he will encourage the client to take his own decision in terms of his adjustment with his relatives or the family or in the broader society. So the social case worker will encourage the client to take the decision for himself or herself for better adjustment in the society, in the family, or in the broader social circle. Then principle of self-awareness. Here the social case worker has to be alerted. He should know do's and don'ts, what he is supposed to do. Suppose the client is a drug addicted. Then he should not be involved to rehabilitate him. He should not be involved emotionally to rehabilitate him. Professionally, the social case worker will involve and guide and encourage the client so that he or she can come out from the particular problem the drug addict has facing. Then principle of social functioning. In social functioning, the social case worker will help the client. Social case worker will help the client in various social functioning in the family, in his relatives or near ones. Then principle of tuning behavior. The social case worker will help the client to tuning his behavior so that he can adjust with the society in general or particularly in the family. Then principle of social learning. Through the process of treatment, the social case worker will guide the client so that he can adjust with the society, in the family, in the community for his better social learning, and encourage him to be with the family, to be with the society for his functioning in a better way. Then the principle of confidentiality. The social case worker will maintain the confidentiality so that the client can get the help from the social workers in terms of his sharing various personal things for the betterment of his betterment of, of himself for adjustment in the society. These are the general principles of social casework through which the social caseworker practice in various agencies through this principle and guide the client for the betterment and adjustment in the society in general and the family in particular, for his betterment and for the betterment of the society as well. Now I would like to hand over to Miss Rose for further.
Yeah, thank you, Gurpada, for your detailed description of the principles of social casework. Now, I hope the students are able to understand what are the intricate details related to these principles and what these principles stands for. In order to help you understand more about this principle, let us go through the concept of these principles once again. They are the principle of individualization in social casework, principle of meaningful relationship, principle of acceptance, principle of communication, principle of expression of feeling, principle of controlled emotional involvement, principle of non-judgmental attitude, principle of client self-determination, principle of workers' self-awareness, principle of social functioning, principle of tuning behavior, principle of social learning, and principle of confidentiality. Here I would like to add that the principle of confidentiality in social casework is one of the most important principles involved in casework, because the relationship between a client and a worker is established on the basis of confidentiality. The client tells a worker as to what his problem or her problem is all about, and the client gives all his confidence to the worker. So the worker is expected, or his duties and responsibility lies in maintaining the confidentiality of the details of his clients. Now, after the principle of social casework, we shall move on to another school of social casework. Now, what is the school of social casework that we want to discuss here? In the beginning, the aim of social work was to help, but later on, due to influence of psychology and psychiatry, personality and behavior treatment have also added as the objective of social casework. Basic orientation of social caseworker are of different kinds, and with the result, diagnostic and functional school appear in the practice of social casework. So, which means that in today's program, we are going to discuss the school of social casework. Here we are going to discuss mainly about two schools, that is the diagnostic school and the functional school of social casework. Now let us go and see what this diagnostic school is all about. This diagnostic school, as you can see in this slide, is basically founded on the Freudian theory of psychoanalysis. Mary Richmond, which we have said that gave the concept of social casework, also gave shape to these thoughts in the form of a school. She wrote first book on social casework, that is social diagnosis, in the year 1917. The other contributors of this schools were Marion Kentworthy, that is, she's from New York School of Social Work, Betsy Libet, Family Society of Philadelphia, Gordon Hamilton, Bartha Reynolds, Charlotte Towell, Florence Day, and Annette Garrett. Now, we shall go on and understand what do we mean by functional school. Functional school was developed by the faculty member of the School of the University of Pennsylvania. This approach was based on the personality theory of Otto Rank. Now, I would request my colleague Gurpada here again to give a brief analysis of what the School of Social Work, where we discuss about the diagnostic school and the functional school, is all about. Over to Gurpada.
Yeah, basically, we have in social casework there are two sort of school. That is one diagnostic school and functional school. In diagnostic school, basically, it's developed in the theory of Freudian theory. Mary Richmond, she has developed the social casework theory based on the Freudian theory. In the diagnostic school, basically here will depend on the principle of diagnosis, principle of treatment, and principle of use technique and use of various relationship. In principle of diagnosis, the diagnosis is based on the diagnostic process consists of a critical study of a client and his/her situation and the travel concerning, through which help is sought or needed for the purpose of understanding the nature of the difficulty with increasing details and adequacy. Diagnosis is based on the knowledge of the worker about the interplay of social and psychological factors affecting the client. The knowledge of interaction between the inner and outer forces influence the client makes the process of diagnosis helpful in terms of various therapeutic uses. Every problem of the individual should be understood in the light of multiple factors, multiple theory which he or she is going through. In the initial stage, also receiving a pressure of various stress and strain on the client help the caseworker to arrive at a proper diagnosis. The initial appraisal of personality and motivation and their significance in the development of client's problem provide the basis of planning the treatment of the client's problem. For the solution of the problem of the client, it is of utmost importance to gain some of the knowledge of his current capacity to work and recognize the motivating forces in his behavior. Then for the solution of the problem of the client, it is utmost important to gain some knowledge, pathological symptoms of the personality of the client, and provides the basis of determining the kind of help that can be appropriately offered. Then the principle of treatment. The main objective of the treatment is to alleviate the client's problem, his distress and malfunctioning in the society. These are the main objectives to help the client for his betterment and adjust in the society. Here the certain principle, based on certain principle. The process of discussion in the interview is centered on the problem and ways of resolving it. Attention is paid to know the obstacles, both the situational as well as behavioral, that stands in the way of the solution. Then the nature and extent of both social and psychological factors differ in each and every situation. Treatment goals and techniques are planned after careful study of the client's particular problem. Then the success of the treatment program is based on the utilization of the relationship between the social caseworker and the client. Social therapy and psychotherapy are these are broad two classifications of social casework treatment. Then the use of techniques. That techniques include encouraging participation, discharge, reassurance, support, suggestion, guidance, directions, etc. Use of relationship. Here the relationship is the medium through which the treatment is provided to the client. These are the broad aspects of the diagnostic school. Mainly, in nutshell, you can say the principle of diagnosis, principle of treatment, use of various techniques, and use of relationship. These are the broad outline of the diagnostic school of social casework. Then we'll go and next another school of thought, that is functional school of social casework. Now I'll over to Rose for the detailed discussion of the functional school of social casework.
Okay, thank you, Gurupada, for your information about the diagnostic school of social work. Here I would like to add that in Functional School of Social Work, according to them, Functional School of Social Work is a method of helping people through special services given by social agencies in such a way that the experience of using such service may be psychologically constructive. Here also we have the diagnosis, the treatment, and the various aspects which is related to diagnostic school of social work. However, there are differences between the two. Now, after understanding the school of social casework, it is after understanding the details of diagnostic school of social work, it is now time to understand the functional school of social work. Like Gurpada have mentioned that in the diagnostic school, the diagnoses are involved. In the functional school, diagnosis is also involved. And what do this diagnosis consist about? Let us understand. The diagnosis is most effective, which is related to the need for some specific service and which is developed in the course of giving the service. This school does not recognize the significance of understanding the total situation of the client. Functional diagnosis recognizes that people cannot be categorized, and a plan with a specific kind of service may deny potential growth and change. Here we can use the principle of acceptance of the client. In establishing a diagnostic conclusion, each individual make his or her own diagnosis of himself. Diagnosis is a way of engaging in a human relation process which frees the help seeker to determine his or her own goal for himself or herself. The client is a center for change capable of continuous growth and development. Here in the diagnosis of the functional school casework, we can see that each and every principle of social casework are also interwoven in these concepts. They believe in the client's own self-determination. They believe that the client can, the tuning behavior of the client. So it is for the worker as well as the client to understand himself or herself and free himself or herself from the condition in which they are in or the problem situation that they are facing. The client should help the worker, whereby the worker should also help the client in order to understand his or her own potential. Now let us understand what the treatment factor is all about in the functional school. Functional school prefer to use the term helping process rather than treatment. Social caseworker is not responsible for treating someone who is the passive recipient of treatment because the school believes that the center for change resides in the client itself. Because social casework through the agency service seeks to release power for improved social functioning. Here we can also add on that the principle of the client's social behavior or the tuning behavior of the client is interwoven again here. So the principle of social casework, which we have understood a few minutes ago, is the basis and the foundation of each and every theories, concepts or assumptions of any social casework in practice as well as in theory. Now after having understood the diagnostic and functional school, it is time now to move on to the various theories of social casework. Now what does these theories tell us about? We'll see them. The theories or models give the direction to the caseworker to handle the client in a way which is situated according to the client's need and social condition. Now there are two kinds of psychosocial theory. This psychosocial theory was propounded by Hamilton, who is a social caseworker by himself. In this, diagnosis and treatment are directed towards person in situation. Treatment must be differentiated according to the needs of the client. And the other theories of social casework is the behavior modification theory, whereby it is based upon the principles of learning and conditioning propounded by Pavlov and Thorndike. This theory views problems as essentially the results of a failure to learn necessary adaptive behavior and competencies and or the learning of ineffective and maladaptive behavior. In order to know more about the theories of social casework, we will call upon now Gurpada again to explain to us what these theories of social casework is all about and what these concepts stands for. Gurpada?
Yeah, in social casework theories, what we have learned that psychosocial theory and behavior modification theory. Besides, there is role theory, rational emotive theory, which helps to guide the social case worker to solve the client's various problems. In psychosocial theory, there are mainly three stages involved. There is psychosocial study, diagnosis, and treatment. In psychosocial study, social caseworker starts his work with the knowledge of the needs of the client. He, on the basis of the needs assessment, what kind of help his needs, what kind of help he needs, he also finds the perception of the client about his own problem and his desires about the kind of assistance to be provided. He then himself tries to arrive at his own understanding of what client's trouble is, what factors contribute to it, and what type of service is needed to improve his her own ego strength and adaptability. Based on that, then we will go to the diagnosis. On the basis of the collected various data available on available material, social caseworker tries to assess the nature of the client's trouble, various contributing factors, and what changes can be brought in his behavior without much offers. Then treatment. In social casework give a much emphasis on indirect treatment or environmental modification for adjustment of the clients. He intervenes actively in the environment and provides necessary concrete help to the client. He provides financial help by locating such agency, proper health care, and also educational resources. Direct treatment is also provided for the ventilation of the client to accept concrete help. Psychological support, counseling, guidance, suggestion, etc. techniques are used to establish close relationship with the client. Then we will go to the behavior modification theory. In behavior modification theory, there are various techniques has been used for helping the client to adjust in his family and in the broader society. The various techniques like simple extinction. In these techniques, the reinforcement is removed to eliminate a maladaptive pattern of behavior. This is especially helpful where maladaptive behavior is being reinforced unknowingly by others. Through this technique, learned behavior patterns are made weaker and disappear in over a period of time. Then systematic desensitization. It is a technique to deal with a wide variety of maladaptive emotional behavior, particularly involving anxiety, irrational fear and phobias, and other forms of dysfunctions, that is neurotic tendencies. There are 5 basic steps in systematic desensitization, like assessment, construction of anxiety hierarchies, training of muscle relaxation, imaginary training, and implementation. Then impulsive therapy. In this technique, instead of banishing anxiety, the social caseworker attempts to elicit a massive flood of anxieties, through which, with repeated exposure in a safe setting where no harm is felt by the client, the stimulus loses its strength to elicit anxiety. Then assertive therapy. It is needed to develop more effective coping mechanism. In such a therapy, the opportunity is given to the client for role playing. Then aversion therapy. This technique is used on the modification of undesirable behavior by the method of punishment. Punishment may involve either the removal of positive reinforcement or the use of aversive stimulus. For instance, we can say for the juvenile those who have developed the stealing of something, stealing of money or any household goods or household foods for his personal uses. Here we can use the aversion therapy. Whenever he is caught, then the social caseworker tries to punish the particular juvenile for his correction, so that he can adjust in the society or in the school, in his social environment, for his better role playing in the society. Then family therapy. We know, as a country like India, family is a very important part of the society. So family has a very important role to play for the betterment of the client. So we can say the family is a system which is composed of three subsystems, that is marriage, parenthood and siblings. There are continuous interaction and transaction among these subsystems. It is quite often observed that sometimes relations may not be harmonious, and that at that time outside help is required to bring the family on proper track. Family therapy is based on the assumption that material relationship system influence the family adjustment, and therefore it is necessary to understand the nature of marriage. It is also true that the nature of the material equilibrium affects all family members, but its effect differ on each of the members. The development of the children are affected also by the nature of the marital equilibrium, because they interject the parents as models and guides. Further, each development phase in the family is a stressful situation which requires new relationship. Family therapy is significant because whenever one member of the family is in trouble, the whole family is in trouble. Communication in the family is the channel through which members of the family interact. Whenever there is problem in the family, communication becomes faulty or dysfunctional. In family therapy, the diagnosis is confirmed on the basis of various types of interviews with the client and also with the family. The social caseworker tries to know family structure and the process in the family responsibilities, role patterns of daily living, role performance, role relationship, dependency, separateness, independence level, capacity, tolerance and control of feelings, intimacy, anxiety, regression, various social taboos, etc. He records the family history and analyzes its contents to help out the client for his adjustment. The social caseworker uses most of the techniques in one-to-one treatment, such as guidance, advice, education, suggestion, clarification and interpretation, etc. Then we'll go the self-control and self-management therapy. Helping clients to help themselves is an old casework phrase. Self-control refers to the ability of individuals to change behavioral patterns that they or other perceives as ability to individuals to change behavior for his adjustment in the society. The role of social caseworker in this process is to help the client to develop the knowledge about how, when, and where to use strategies for change. The worker acts as an instigator and motivator to help the client to start the program and have motivating force to complete it. A multi-step guide has been presented by Watson and Tharp to develop a self-control plan. List the current dissatisfaction. Select one particular problem or behavior that occurs in a particular situation. Describe the effect of problem on behavior. Be as precise as possible in stating the behavior and occurs and the situation in which they occur. gather baseline data, count every instance of target behavior, and keep a record of counting. Catalog enforcement. Answer 3 questions for each potential reinforcer. Is it reinforcement or specially formed? Is it strong reinforcer? And is it accessible? Then list and attempt to verify through. List and attempt to verify through observation possible antecedent to problem behaviors. Devise a plan for intervention for altering antecedents. Identify the emotional components of the problem and plan for desensitization, and select one of the plans that you have developed. Then continue to collect the data on the problem of behavior. Make a graph of the data to determine that the intervention plan is working. Then the problem solving theory. This theory is propounded by Helen Harris Perlman in his book Social Casework, a problem solving process. This model stands firmly upon the recognition that life is an outgoing problem encountering problem solving process. Every person is involved every time in coping with his problem. Sometimes he is capable of coping and sometimes fails to resolve the crisis situation. Through problem solving process individual or family is helped to cope with or resolve some difficulty that he or she is currently finding difficult to solve the problem. Thus the primary goal of problem solving model is to help a person cope as effectively as possible with such problem in carrying various social tasks. In the initial phase, the attempts are made to encourage the client with his problem and to do something about in working relationship with the agency. The problem solving process starts at once. From the first moment with treating the person, the client is not treated for his problem, but he is treated for the purpose of helping him to know himself in better way, that is his strength, weakness, and how to remove those weaknesses. Then we'll go for the role theory. Role is mainly behavioral concept. Role may be seen as a product of interplay between individual members and his needs and resources, the solution in the social network and the force acting on the social network from the environment when there are internal or external difficulties which are beyond the capacity of an individual. He or she feels the problem and fails to perform his or her role. The social caseworker, which such client suggests new ideas and ways of facing the problem and suggests solution for a difficulty for a difficulty that the external factors have encountered. He offers facts which relate to his own experience for understanding the problem. He gives suggestion in terms of examples and tries to explain how suggestion would work if followed by the client. He mediates between other members and attempts to reconcile disagreements and relieve tension in conflict situations. His efforts are also directed to keep communication channels open by encouraging others to participate in the business of the client, so that the clients can get the help through his role theory. Then rational emotive theory. This technique is used basically in the area of modifying irrational elements control over the self. Here some of the irrational ideas at the core of emotional and behavioral problems are as here. It is dire necessity for an adult to be loved by everyone for everything she or he does. Certain acts are awful or weak, and people who perform such acts should be severely punished. It is horrible when things are not the way one would like them to be. It is easier to avoid rather then face life's difficulties and self-responsibilities. Human happiness can be achieved by inertia and inaction. One has virtually no control over one's emotion, and one cannot help feeling certain other things. In rational emotive theory, there are four stages: presentation of rational, overview of irrational assumption, analysis of client's problem in rational emotive terms, and teaching the client to modify internal statement. These are the broad theories in social casework that professional social worker use to help the client for adjustment in the society. Now I'll over to Rose.
I thank Gurpada for his wonderful and detailed description of the schools and the theories of social casework. And we would want to discuss the casework in practical situation, but since time do not permit us, we would like to go over what we have informed you. In today's class, we have informed you that why social casework is important in day-to-day life and why practically it is used by the social caseworker in every situation and in any profession. We have also discussed to you what is the definition given by Mary Richmond about social casework and the concept of social casework, as well as the basic assumptions of social casework along with the philosophical assumptions of social casework. In here today we have also discussed about the theories of social casework, which is given in detail by Mr. Gurpada, my colleague here, and we have also discussed about the school of social casework, where we have discussed about the behavior modification theory and the psychoanalysis theory. So I hope that the class we have taken here for you is good enough for all of you, and you're able to understand what we want to inform you by this session on social casework. And if you have any doubts regarding the social casework, you can always refer back to your booklet, which have been given by SOCE IGNOU. And thank you so much for your attention, and I would also like to thank my colleague here, Mr. Gurpada, for his wonderful description of the theories of social casework. Thank you.
وہ تو دیکھ لیں گے سنیل. ٹھیک ہے, اوکے, تو اسٹارٹ کرتے ہیں.
یہ لائیو
تم وہ بن جاؤ نا. پروفیسر ہنسرا, آپ ایگنو میں اسکول آف ایگریکلچر سائنسز میں ڈائریکٹر ہیں. آپ ہندوستان جو ہے, بھارت ہمارا دیش, وہ کرشی پردھان دیش ہے. یہاں پر زیادہ تر لوگ گاؤں میں رہتے ہیں اور کھیتی کرتے ہیں. آپ ہمیں بتائیں گے کہ کھیتی کا جو پورا سینیریو ہے, ایگریکلچر سے ریلیٹڈ جو پوری تصویر ہم دیکھتے ہیں, وہ کیا ہے, اس کے اوپر ذرا روشنی ڈالیں گے آپ؟
بھائی صاحب, آپ نے صحیح کہا. جو ہمارا بھارت دیش ہے یہ کرشی پردھان دیش ہے. اس میں 57% جو لوگ ہیں وہ کھیتی کے اوپر ہی نربھر ہیں, اور جو 25% ہماری جی ڈی پی ہے وہ کھیتی کے اوپر نربھر ہے. اور جو ہمارا 20% ہماری ایکسپورٹ جو باہر ہم بھیجتے ہیں اس کی ارننگ ہوتی ہے, وہ کھیتی اس میں 20% حصہ پاتی ہے. اس سے علاوہ جو ہماری کھیتی ہے وہ ایگریکلچر اکانومی کا نہیں, یہ فیڈ اور فوڈ سیکورٹی کے لیے بھی ہے. یہ جو 85% لوگ جو کھیتی کے کام میں جڑے ہوئے ہیں ہمارے گاؤں میں, جیسے آپ نے کہا ہے, وہ الٹریٹ ہے, ان پڑھ ہے, ان کو پڑھنا نہیں آتا. اور جو ہمارے ایگریکلچر کے گریجویٹ ہیں جنہوں نے بی ایس سی یا ایم ایس سی کی ہے, وہ ٹوٹل جو گریجویٹ ہوتے ہیں ہندوستان میں صرف 4 یا 5% کے بیچ وہ گریجویٹ ہیں. ہمارا ایگریکلچر جو ہے مین فوکس ہے ہمارے بھارت ورش میں, پر ہمارے پاس جو ایگریکلچر گریجویٹ ہیں وہ صرف 4 تو 5% ہیں. اس میں بھی 40% وہ ویسے لوگ ہیں جن کو ابھی تک نوکری نہیں ملی. اس لیے یہ جو لوگ ہیں یہ ابھی اپنا کام بھی شروع کر سکتے ہیں. اور اس سے علاوہ 300 ملین اڈلٹ فارمرز ہیں جو ہمارے الٹریٹ ہیں.
جی.
اگر ہم دیکھیں جو ٹیکنالوجی جو ہماری جنریشن ہوتی ہے, اس میں ہمارے بھارت ورش میں 39 اسٹیٹ ایگریکلچر یونیورسٹیز ہیں. ایک صوبے میں 1 بھی ہیں, 2 بھی ہیں, 4 بھی ہیں, اور 5 ڈیمڈ یونیورسٹیز ہیں, اور ایک سینٹرل ایگریکلچر یونیورسٹی ہے جو نارتھ ایسٹ جو ہماری اسٹیٹس ہیں اس کے لیے ہے.
جی.
تو اگر آپ کاؤنٹ کریں تو 35 ایگریکلچر یونیورسٹیز ہیں کنٹری میں, جو ہر ایک ریجن میں کھوج کرتی ہے, اور کھوج کے بیس پہ وہ جو کسانوں کے لیے ہے وہ ٹیکنالوجی دیتی ہیں. پر ٹیکنالوجی جو نکلتی ہے اور جو ہمارے کسان بھائی اس کو اپناتے ہیں اس میں بہت گیپ ہے. عام آپ پڑھیں گے تو یہی آپ کو پڑھنے میں آئے گا کہ 30% جو ٹیکنالوجی ہے وہی ہمارے کسان بھائیوں کے پاس پہنچتی ہے.
جی جی.
70% جو ٹیکنالوجی ہے وہ کسان بھائیوں کے پاس نہیں پہنچتی. اور یہی کارن ہے کہ جو ہمارے زمیندار بھائی ہیں جن کو پڑھنا لکھنا نہیں آتا, جو لارج میجورٹی میں ہے, تو جو ہماری ٹیکنالوجی ہے اس کو وہ اڈاپٹ نہیں کر پاتے.
یہ جو ٹیکنالوجی ہے جس کی بات ابھی آپ کر رہے تھے، یہ اس کے اوپر ذرا روشنی ڈالیں گے کہ کس ٹیکنالوجی کی بات آپ کر رہے ہیں؟ ابھی جو نئی لیٹسٹ ٹیکنالوجی ہے ایگریکلچر کے میدان میں، وہ کون سی ہے؟
یہ ایگریکلچر ٹیکنالوجی جو ریجنل بیسس پہ ہوتی ہے، 70% جو ہمارا ایریا ہے وہ رین فیڈ ہے.
جی.
وہ اگر بارش ہوگی تو وہ وہاں ہم کو زمینداروں کو کچھ ملے گا، کسان بھائیوں کو. اگر بارش نہیں ہوتی تو جو ان کی پروڈکشن ہے وہ بہت لو ہو جاتی ہے. صرف 30% ایریا ہے، 31% جو شورڈ اریگیشن ہے.
جی.
اس میں ہمارے جو اسٹیٹس ہیں، ہماچل ہے، ہریانہ ہے، پنجاب ہے، ویسٹرن یو پی ہے، پارٹ آف مہاراشٹرا ہے، مدھیہ پردیش ہے، ایسے جو ایریاز ہیں یہاں یہ شورڈ اریگیشن ہے. جو آپ نے کہا ابھی ٹیکنالوجی کیسی ہے، تو یہ جو انڈین کونسل آف ایگریکلچر ریسرچ نے 5 پروڈکشن سسٹم ہمارے کنٹری میں، ٹوٹل کنٹری کو 5 پروڈکشن سسٹم میں بانٹا ہے.
جی.
کچھ تو ایگریکلچر کے جو اریگیٹڈ سسٹم ہے، کوئی رین فیڈ سسٹم ہے، کوئی آپ دیکھتے ہیں کوسٹل کے آڑے دوڑے ہیں جہاں کوسٹل سسٹم ہے. ہل ایگریکلچر ہے، ہمارا 25 to 30% ایریا ہل کے ایریا انڈر ہے. یہ 5 پروڈکشن سسٹم ہے جو ہماری جو ریسرچ ہوتی ہیں وہ اس سسٹم پہ نربھر ہوتی ہے. جیسے ویٹ پہ کام ہوا تو ویٹ کی جو اب ہمارے جو سائنٹسٹ ہیں وہ بتا رہے ہیں کہ ییلڈ اسٹیگنیٹ ہو گئی، ییلڈ ایک جگہ پر کھڑ گیا. تو ہمارے اب جو پروڈکشن بڑھانے کے لیے، کیونکہ زمین تو کم ہو رہی ہے ہر روز، ان کو بڑھانے کے لیے جو ٹیکنالوجی ڈیولپ کر رہے ہیں وہ ایک تو یہ آسپیکٹ ہے. دوسرا آسپیکٹ ہے کہ یہاں پانی کم ہے، جس کو ہم رین فیڈ کہتے ہیں.
جی.
وہ اس کو کم پانی والی فصلیں اس کی ورائٹیز نکال رہے ہیں تاکہ جو ہمارے کسان بھائی ہیں جو رین فیڈ ایریا میں کام کرتے ہیں، جو میجورٹی ایریا ہے، اس کے لیے نئی قسمیں، نئی جو بھی کھوجیں ہیں وہ کر کے ان کو کرنے کے لیے وہ دیتے ہیں. دوسرا، گورنمنٹ آف انڈیا نے یہ بھی کہا ہے کہ یہ ہارٹی کلچر جو ہے جس میں پود ہے، فلاور ہے، ویجیٹیبل ہے، یہ اس میں بھی ایک بہت بڑا فوکس دیا ہے.
جی.
ایک آپ کو سنا ہوگا کہ ہارٹی کلچر مشن گورنمنٹ آف انڈیا نے شروع کیا ہے، جس میں سے سب کسان بھائی جو ہارٹی کلچر یا سبزیوں کا یا پھولوں کا کام کرنا چاہتے ہیں اس میں وہ مدد کرتے ہیں، سبسڈی بھی دیتے ہیں اور بھی جو اوزار بھی دیتے ہیں، سب وہ ہارٹی کلچر مشن کے تھرو ان کو پہنچا جا سکتا ہے. ایسے ہی اور ایریاز ہیں یہاں ایگریکلچر کی کھوج ہو رہی ہے جو ٹوٹل ڈیولپمنٹ فارمر کی کرنے کے لیے وہ ہو رہی ہیں.
جی.
تو اس لیے یہ موٹی بات یہی ہے کہ پروڈکشن سسٹم کے آدھار پہ ہی یہ کھوجیں ہوتی ہیں.
صاحب، پہلے کھیتی کے سلسلے میں جو ایکوپمنٹس کا استعمال ہوتا تھا وہ ظاہر سی بات ہے کہ کم دام کا ہوتا تھا، وہ بہت ایکسپینسو نہیں ہوتا تھا. جیسے ریہٹ سے کام چل جاتا تھا یا معمولی کھاد سے کام چل جاتا تھا. اب ایگریکلچر میں بہت مہنگے ایکوپمنٹس آ رہے ہیں جس سے پیداوار بڑھائی جا سکتی ہے. یہ مہنگے ایکوپمنٹس خریدنا کسانوں کے بس میں نہیں ہوتا. وہ ظاہر سی بات ہے کسان امیر نہیں ہوتا، غریب ہوتا ہے. تو یہ ایکوپمنٹس اس تک پہنچ سکے جس سے وہ اپنی پیداوار کو بڑھا سکے، اس سلسلے میں سرکار نے کوئی قدم اٹھایا ہے یا کوئی ایسی اسکیم ہے جس سے ان کو سبسڈائزڈ ریٹ میں ان کو وہ ایکوپمنٹس مل سکے؟
بھائی صاحب، جیسے میں نے پہلے ہارٹی کلچر مشن کی بات کی تھی، اس میں بھی کچھ ایکوپمنٹ ہیں جو سبسڈائزڈ ریٹ پہ زمینداروں کو ملتے ہیں، جیسے سپریئر ہے، جیسے مشین چھوٹی جو کاٹنے والی ہیں وہ سبسڈائزڈ ریٹ پہ ملتی ہیں، اس کا سبسڈی اس کو بولتے ہیں وہ بھی ملتا ہے. پر جو آپ نے دیکھا ہوگا کہ سنا بھی ہوگا، گورنمنٹ بھی کنسرنڈ ہے کہ لوگ بہت سوسائڈ فارمرز ہیں وہ کر رہے ہیں. وہ سوسائڈ کا جو بہت لمبا چوڑا ایشو ہے، یہ ہمیں اس میں نہیں لانا چاہیے تھا، پر یہ میں نے جو بول رہا ہوں کہ یہ جو سوسائڈز ہیں وہ اس کے بہت کارن ہیں. ایک کارن یہ بھی ہے کہ جو زمیندار بھائی ہمارا فارمر ہے جو وہ لون لے لیتا ہے، چاہے وہ اکوپمنٹ خریدنا ہو، امپلیمنٹ خریدنا ہو یا فرٹیلائزر خریدنا ہو، وہ اتنا لون سے دب جاتا ہے تو وہ اس کو باہر نکلنا بڑا مشکل ہو جاتا ہے. میں پنجاب میں رہنے والا ہوں اور میں بات کرتا ہوں جب پنجاب اپنے گاؤں میں جاتا ہوں تو وہاں 90% لوگ جو ہمارے کسان بھائی ہیں وہ انڈر ڈیٹ ہیں.
اچھا.
ڈیٹ جو ہے
اور اس وجہ سے خودکشی کا بھی
خودکشی
معاملہ سامنے آیا ہے.
پنجاب میں بھی بوہر ایریا میں سنا ہے
جی.
پر جو ڈیٹ ہے وہ 1 لاکھ سے 3-4 لاکھ تک ہے. تو جو آپ مشینری کی بات کی ہے، مشینری میرا سجاؤ تو یہی کسان بھائیوں کو یہی ہوگا کہ کوآپریٹو ہونا چاہیے. ایک زمیندار خرید لے اور دوسرا اس کی ورتوں کرے، اس کا وہ پیسہ دے جتنا اس نے یوز کرنا ہے. تو اس لیے جتنی بڑی بڑی مشینری ہے لوگ یوز تو کرتے ہیں پر وہ اس کو کرائے پہ لے کے یا کسی کو ریکویسٹ کر کے اس کو مشینری کو ہی ان کو ایسے یوز کرنا چاہیے تاکہ ان کے اوپر وہ برڈن نہ ہو.
جی. پروفیسر ہنسرا، وشو میں بھارت کا کرشی کے فیلڈ میں کیا استھان ہے؟
دیکھو، آپ 1947 سے آج تک ہمارا جو ایگریکلچرل پروڈکٹیوٹی ہے 50 ملین ٹن سے ہم نے 219 ملین ٹن تک پہنچ گئے تھے.
جی.
اور آج ہمارا یہ ہے پھلوں سبزیوں میں، ہمارا ویجیٹیبلز میں، ہماری جو بھی یہ ہے ہم وشو میں پہلے 3 استھانوں میں ہیں. ایسے دودھ میں ہے، امریکہ 1 نمبر پہ ہے، 2 نمبر ہمارا ہے.
اچھا.
ایسے ہی اور جیسے چائے ہے، کیشو نٹس ہیں، دوسری جو مسالے وغیرہ ہیں وہ ہم بہت آگے بڑھ چکے ہیں.
جی.
رائس پروڈکشن کی ایک دفعہ کنک کی جو پر ایکڑ یا پر یونٹ کی ییلڈ تھی وہ ورلڈ میں 1 نمبر پہ تھی. تو اس لیے میں پورا ڈیٹا نہیں آپ کو دے سکتا کیونکہ ٹائم ہمارے پاس نہیں ہے، پر ہم نے اتنی پروگریس کی ہے جو ہمارا جو ایگریکلچر یا ہماری کھیتی کا نام ساری وشو میں ہو چکا ہے.
جی.
دوسری طرف ہماری جو پاپولیشن ہے اس میں تھوڑا کنٹرول ہو جائے تو ہم اور بھی آگے ترقی کر سکتے ہیں.
جی. پروفیسر ہنسرا، ایگنو میں جو اسکول آف ایگریکلچر سائنسز اسٹارٹ ہوا، یہاں پہ کیا ایکٹیویٹیز ہوتی ہے؟ کیوں یہ اسٹارٹ ہوا؟ اس کی ضرورت کیوں پڑی؟ کیا یہاں پہ کچھ کورسز بھی لانچ ہوئے ہیں؟
جیسے میں آپ کو پہلے وارشہ بتایا تھا، ایگریکلچر یونیورسٹیز 45 کے قریب ہیں.
جی.
اور 4 سے 5% صرف ایگریکلچر گریجویٹس ہی پروڈیوس ہوتے ہیں، ٹوٹل گریجویٹس جو ہوتے ہیں. اور ہماری جو کسان بھائی ہیں ان کو پوری ٹیکنالوجی نہیں دے پاتے جتنے بھی ہمارے ایکسٹینشن فنکشنریز ہیں یا کوئی اور کاریہ کرتا ہے جو گاؤں میں ہیں. اس لیے 2005 جنوری میں اندرا گاندھی نیشنل اوپن یونیورسٹی نے ایک بہت اچھا قدم بڑھایا اور یہ اسکول آف ایگریکلچر یہاں स्थापित किया, उसका मेन मुद्दा है कि जो डिसएडवांटेज्ड ग्रुप है, जिसके पास फॉर्मल एजुकेशन नहीं पहुंची, जिसके पास यहाँ स्कूलों में कॉलेजों में आने के लिए पैसे नहीं हैं, जिसके पास कोई साधन नहीं है कि वो जाके एक फॉर्मल एजुकेशन ले, तो इंदिरा गांधी नेशनल ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी ने ये स्कूल स्थापित करने का यही मुद्दा था कि हम डिसएडवांटेज ग्रुप जो अनरीच्ड है उस ग्रुप को हम जा सकें। आपको यही बताना चाहता हूं कि 2005 से आज तक हमने 2 कोर्स शुरू किए हैं। एक कोर्स है जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट ने हमें पैसे दिए हैं उसको चलाने के लिए, वो अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम है डेयरी फार्मर की। ये डेयरी फार्मिंग हमने राजस्थान और बिहार में शुरू किया है। ये पायलट बेसिस पे ही है, पर इसका जो हमने मटेरियल बनाया और राजस्थान और बिहार गवर्नमेंट को ऑफिशियल्स को दिया, तो इतने वो उससे खुश थे कि वो चाहते थे कि ये प्रोग्राम सारी ही स्टेट में शुरू किया जावे, पर ये पायलट है इसलिए हमने एक ही डिस्ट्रिक्ट चुना है, एक ही 1100 फार्मर दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हमने चुने हैं बिगिनिंग में
जी। तो
इसको हम जब पायलट टेस्टिंग हमारी हो जाएगी दिसंबर तक, उसके बाद इसका एनालिसिस करके हम कोशिश करेंगे कि 3-4 स्टेट्स में रूरल डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री जो है हमारी सहायता करेगी तो हम उधर करेंगे। इसके अलावा हमने एक, आपने सुना ही है कि वैल्यू एडेड प्रोजेक्ट, जो वैल्यू एडिशन की बात गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया भी कर रही है कि हमारे फल फ्रूट इतने खराब होते हैं, इसलिए वो हम चाहते हैं कि ये जो जितनी भी वैल्यू एडिशन है फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल की, उसको कैसे अच्छे तरीके से उसको हम सेव कर सकते हैं। ये हमने कोर्स शुरू किया है डिप्लोमा लेवल का। इसको भी हमारी एक मिनिस्ट्री ने ही हमको दिया है पैसा इसको शुरू करने के लिए, पर इसका बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस है। 250-300 के करीब हमारे लोग जो इस कोर्स में दाखिला लिया है, तो हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि ये जो हमारे दोनों कोर्स हैं बहुत सक्सेसफुल होंगे और इसको हम आगे भी इसको अच्छी तरह करने की इसको इम्प्रूवमेंट करेंगे।
जी जी जी।
इससे अलावा हम और भी कोर्सेज शुरू कर रहे हैं, जैसे डिप्लोमा डेयरी टेक्नोलॉजी का। डेयरी हमारा नंबर 1 है अब अमेरिका के बाद। जो मिल्क प्रोडक्शन हैज़ गॉन अप, बहुत आगे बढ़ गई, हमारी मिल्क की कंजम्पशन बढ़िया हो गई, हमारे वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स मिल्क के, जैसे आप केक देखते हैं और जो चीज़ें हैं वो मिल्क केक वगैरह जो है बनती हैं। पर हम चाहते हैं कि ये डिप्लोमा जो डेयरी टेक्नोलॉजी का है, इसमें हम जो हमारे नौजवान साथी हैं, दोस्त हैं, उनके लिए हम ये कोर्स करें। इससे अलावा मीट टेक्नोलॉजी, हमारे पास बहुत मीट अवेलेबल है, चाहे वो पिग का हो, चाहे वो चिकन का हो, चाहे गोट का हो, चाहे कोई किसी तरह का मीट होता है, उसकी हम प्रोसेसिंग भी सिखाएंगे और मीट टेक्नोलॉजी मीट का कितनी और बढ़ोतरी कर सकते हैं वो भी हम शुरू करने वाले हैं। एक वैल्यू एडिशन जो हमारी पल्सेस हैं, सीरियल्स हैं, ऑयल सीड्स हैं, इसका भी हम जल्दी शुरू करने वाले हैं, ताकि इसमें पता लग जाए कि जो हमारे पास, जैसे आप सरसों का तेल निकालते हैं, ये भी वैल्यू एडिशन है। ऐसे ही हम पल्सेस में और ऑयल सीड पल्सेस, ये भी सीरियल्स में भी, जैसे मैदा बनाना, ये ऐसे हम चीज़ें सिखाएंगे ताकि जो हमारे किसान भाई हैं जो गांव में हैं वो अपना भी कर सकते हैं और थोड़ा रोजगार भी शुरू करें।
जी।
और अभी 15 दिन पहले एक अपीडा आपने सुना होगा, ये भी एक नेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है جو ہماری ایکسپورٹ میں بہت ان کا یوگدان ہے، ایکسپورٹ کرتی ہے. ان کے ساتھ ایگنو اپیڈا نے ایک ایم او یو سائن کیا ہے جس میں سے ہم نے 3 کورس اگلے سال شروع کریں گے. ایک تو جو آپ لبرل اکانومی، جہاں کوئی بھی آدمی کہیں بیچ سکتا ہے، WTO کا، اپنے ورلڈ ٹریڈ آرگنائزیشن کا سنا ہے، اس کے تحت جو گڈ ایگریکلچرل پریکٹسز، جو اچھی جو ایگریکلچر کی پریکٹسز ہیں، اس کے بارے ہم ایک اویئرنیس کورس شروع کریں گے. وہ ہمارا ٹیچر ہے کہ ہم جنوری 2007 وہ اپیڈا نے ہمیں پیسے دینے ہیں، اس کے آدھار سے ہم شروع کریں گے. ایک آرگینک فارمنگ آپ نے سنا ہوگا، بہت آج کل چرچا ہو رہی ہے آرگینک فارمنگ کی. اس کا بھی ہم یہ اپیڈا کے ساتھ رل کے ایک سرٹیفکیٹ کورس آرگینک فارمنگ، یہ اس کو پھر بڑھوتی کر کے ڈپلوما ان آرگینک فارمنگ کر کے ہم اس کو کرنا چاہتے ہیں. ایسے ہی ایک اور پی جی ڈگری پروگرام انہوں نے ہمیں کیا کہا ہے کہ اپیڈا کے ساتھ مل کے کرنے کا. ایسے یہی اور بھی آرگنائزیشنز ہیں، جیسے انڈین کونسل آف ایگریکلچر ریسرچ ہے، منسٹری آف ایگریکلچر ہے، منسٹری آف رورل ڈیولپمنٹ ہے، منسٹری آف انڈسٹریز ہیں. اس کے ساتھ ہماری ایم او یو آلریڈی ہیں، اور ہم پریاس کر رہے ہیں کہ یہ جو کورسز ہیں، ڈپلوما کے ہو، سرٹیفکیٹ کے ہو، اویئرنیس کے ہو، یہ ان کو ہم جلدی ہی شروع کریں گے، تاکہ جو ہمارے ڈس ایڈوانٹیج گروپ ہے، جو ہمارے بھائی جن کو کوئی نہیں ملتا اپرچونٹی اسکول جانے کی، کالج جانے کی، ان کو ہم پہنچ سکیں اور ان کی ہم سیوا کر سکیں.
پروفیسر ہنسرا، آپ نے ہمارے ودیارتھیوں کو بہت بہت اہم جانکاریاں دی. آپ کا بہت بہت شکریہ پروفیسر ہنسرا.
دھنیہ واد.
تھینک یو ویری مچ.